Welcome back to Kleppers Corner, Today in History, the show where we discover that time isn't a straight line. It's a historical pileup where humanity keeps rear-ending itself with bad decisions. Today's date, November 9th, might just be the most emotionally confused day in modern history. Germany calls it Schicksalstag, the Day of Fate. It's the only day that manages to be both a redemption arc and a horror movie marathon. You've got revolutions, executions, pogroms, and one giant concrete wall that literally went out with a bang. November 9th, the date where Germany collectively said, we'll laugh about it. Eventually. Segment 1, 1989, the fall of the Berlin Wall, the world's most satisfying demolition. It's November 9th, 1989, a day that began with a bureaucratic miscommunication and ended with the biggest party in German history. A government official, Günther Schabowski, was supposed to announce new travel procedures. Instead, he accidentally said the border was open immediately. East Berliners heard that and thought, well, guess we're free now. Thousands surged to the checkpoints chanting, "We want out." By 11:30 p.m., guards gave up, opened the gates, and suddenly the Berlin Wall had all the authority of a broken vending machine. And just like that, the Cold War got its eviction notice. For nearly 3 decades, the wall divided not just a city, but an entire planet into team capitalism and team communism. When it fell, it wasn't just bricks, it was the weight of an era coming down. For Germany, this was catharsis. After a century of coups, dictators, and depressions, November 9th finally delivered something good, which for Germany was like finding a parking ticket with a "Have a nice day" on it. Segment 2, 1938, Kristallnacht, the night humanity shattered itself. Rewind 51 years, and that same date marks one of the darkest chapters in modern history. Kristallnacht, the night of broken glass. It wasn't spontaneous rage. It was state-orchestrated violence. The night Nazi Germany stopped pretending it was just anti-Semitic and went full genocidal. In one night, 267 synagogues burned, 7,500 Jewish-owned businesses smashed, and around 30,000 Jewish men arrested for being Jewish. The Nazis even had the audacity to fine the Jewish community for the damages. As if being terrorized wasn't enough, they sent the invoice. This was the moment when persecution became policy, the transition from discrimination to extermination. It's hard to overstate it. November 9th became the night civilization broke its own reflection. And to think, 51 years later, on that same day, Germans tore down a wall built to divide. History has a dark sense of irony. If November 9th were a person, it'd be a guy who punches you one decade and hugs you the next. Segment 3, 1923, the beer hall putsch, when Hitler tried to be a patriot and failed. 15 years earlier, Hitler tried to overthrow the Weimar Republic in a beer hall. That's right, the man responsible for history's worst atrocities started his career shouting revolutionary slogans between rounds of lager. It was called the beer hall putsch, and it failed spectacularly. The coup lasted less than a day. Hitler was arrested, 16 Nazis died, and 4 policemen proved democracy could, in fact, aim. But here's where history gets perverse. That failure made him famous. His trial became a stage. His prison cell became a writing desk for Mein Kampf. The beer hall putsch was the dry run for dictatorship, and Germany's first lesson in maybe we shouldn't give microphones to angry men in bars. If this were an American story, you'd expect Netflix to make it a prestige drama called The Fuhrer Next Door. But no, it's just another November 9th, when Germany almost lost democracy for good, and then, 66 years later, celebrated getting it back. Segment 4, 1918, the birth of the Weimar Republic. 2 men, 1 balcony, infinite chaos. Before the Nazis, before the wall, there was November 9th, 1918, when Germany decided monarchy was out and democracy was in. Kind of. The Kaiser abdicated, fled to the Netherlands, and 2 guys, Philipp Scheidemann and Karl Liebknecht, raced to declare what kind of republic Germany would become. Scheidemann proclaimed the German Republic from a balcony at 2 p.m. 2 hours later, Liebknecht declared a socialist republic from another balcony. It was like Germany ordered democracy on Amazon and two different ones got delivered. The confusion set the tone for Weimar, a republic so fragile it made Jenga look stable. And yet, that moment, chaotic, improvised, and loud, was the seed of everything that followed. Germany tried democracy, then dictatorship, then division, and finally, in 1989, rediscovered democracy again. It's like a loop of bad relationships. We broke up with monarchy, dated fascism, ghosted communism, and now we're trying democracy again, but this time for real. Segment 5, 1848, the execution of Robert Blum, the first martyr for German democracy. The story begins in 1848, the original Day of Fate. Robert Blum, a revolutionary idealist, fought for a free, democratic Germany. The Austrians executed him for it. His last words, "I die for the German liberty I fought for," became a mantra for a dream that took 141 years to come true. Blum's death was the first layer of this historical palimpsest, a martyr buried beneath generations of failed revolutions and authoritarian hangovers. You can trace a straight emotional line from his execution to the wall's fall, from one man dying for freedom to millions living it. Segment 6, 1967, Saturn V takes flight, because humanity sometimes gets it right. Fast forward to November 9th, 1967. NASA launched the Saturn V for the first time. It was unmanned, but it was the rocket that would take humans to the moon. Think about that. We built a skyscraper that could leave the planet. The mission, Apollo 4, came 9 months after the Apollo 1 fire, a disaster that killed 3 astronauts. NASA staked everything on this test flight, and it worked perfectly. Every stage separation, every engine restart, every calculation, flawless. Humanity proved it could learn from failure, which, after 1848, 1918, 1923, and 1938, was a refreshing change of pace for November 9th. Segment 7, 1965, the Great Northeast Blackout, when one relay broke civilization. 2 years before that, November 9th, 1965, the lights went out. A single faulty relay in Ontario triggered a cascade that blacked out most of the northeastern United States and Canada. 30 million people suddenly realized how fragile modern life was. Imagine Times Square, dark. The Empire State Building, silent. New Yorkers actually talking to each other, terrifying. The blackout revealed how interconnected and vulnerable we'd become. One little switch flipped wrong and poof, civilization was playing flashlight tag. But hey, at least we got some great baby boom numbers 9 months later. Segment 8, the culture of November 9th, brains, beauty, and beats. November 9th also happens to be the birthday of some of the smartest, wildest, and weirdest minds in human history. Carl Sagan, the man who made the universe cool again. Without him, half of us wouldn't know what a pale blue dot is. Hedy Lamarr, Hollywood goddess by day, secret inventor of Wi-Fi by night. She basically gave us the blueprint for Bluetooth, proving that beauty and brains don't have to pick sides. Anne Sexton, the poet who turned pain into Pulitzer gold. And Dylan Thomas, who went out the only way a poet named Dylan could, after 18 whiskeys and a mic drop at the Chelsea Hotel. Oh, and November 9th, 1967 also gave us Rolling Stone magazine, because after humanity reached for the moon, it apparently needed to rank guitar solos. It wasn't just about music, it was about counterculture, a mirror to the times, or at least a mirror covered in cigarette burns and protest stickers. Segment 9, 1921, Einstein's Safer Nobel Prize, and 1994, the birth of Darmstadtium. Einstein technically won his Nobel on November 9th, 1921, but not for relativity. The committee thought that theory was too weird, so they gave it to him for explaining why light makes electrons jump. It's like giving Michelangelo an award for most efficient use of ceiling space. And in 1994, German scientists created Darmstadtium, element 110, by smashing atoms together at near light speed. Because apparently, if it's November 9th, Germany's either tearing down walls or splitting atoms. In conclusion, November 9th isn't a date, it's a mood swing. It's the day freedom rose, fell, and rose again, when humanity created both destruction and discovery. It's Germany's national therapy session, and the world's reminder that progress is never a straight line. It's a spiral staircase built by people who forgot their tools halfway up. If there's a moral here, it's this. Every date on the calendar is a work in progress. November 9th just happens to be the draft humanity keeps rewriting. Sometimes with hope, sometimes with fire, sometimes with rocket fuel. And if you're watching this on November 9th, congratulations. You survived one of history's busiest, weirdest, and most meaningful days. Just don't touch any relays, invade any beer halls, or build any walls, and we might actually make it to tomorrow.